Hello. So this is my first YouTube video. I go by DJ, and I'm going to tell the story about how this quarantine allowed me to fall in love temporarily with a white supremacist. All right. So as you can see, I'm clearly black. Um, Asuka Negra, like educated, but just bored, you know. So I've been working from home, doing a little dating, online dating, and I've been online dating for a minute. I don't even want to reveal how long, but a couple of weeks ago, I was hit up by this guy, and I've ran into some trash. That's just another story for later, but I've run into some absolute trash. But I get this message from this really, good looking guy, white, of course. That's who the story's about. And he he's beautiful, eloquent in his message. His message was just boom, boom, bam. He introduced himself, and I just felt this instant magnetism. So we're talking, we're learning more about each other, virtually on this dating app. And everything's going great. We're really hitting it off, and not even hitting it off in a sense of like, oh, so haha, our jokes are, coalescing. I guess that's the word I'm looking for. It was really just like a soul thing. Like a lot of the metaphysical stuff that I'm into, he knew about. A lot of the, political stuff, conspiracy theories, all of the things that I'm deeply into, he was into. So I'm like, oh my gosh, I've met this really nice man. So this man tells me, I found what I'm looking for. I'm done. You're my soulmate. I love you. Um, I'm done with this app. Dude disables his app. Okay. So I'm like, oh wow, he's serious, He's not the guy who says, hey, let's text. And then I see I'm texting you when you're online on the dating app. Like he wasn't one of those. I'm a Scorpio, Scorpio stellium. So of course I stayed on the dating app to make sure that he wasn't on there, that he was staying off. Because I couldn't believe I had run into somebody who not only had told me, I'm the one, but that I had connected with and had so much like we were so much alike. So we we're texting, still so much in common. And he's like, I think you're the one for me. You're amazing. Da, 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 da. Just really sweet, beautiful things. We're also talking about a lot of the things that we have in common. Just really, we really hit it off and really connected. And he was like, we've manifested this bubble that we're in. I love you. It's me and you. I was brought into your life to be a pillar of light. You're awesome. I see you. Just really deep, beautiful stuff he was saying to me. All right. So, day one, really well. Day two, really well. Now, let's get to the phone call. So, I'm out hustling, and we had planned to call each other that night to hear each other's voices and get acclimated with one another through our tones. So, we're on the phone and we're talking, we're like, just all that smooth butter stuff. I love you too. This is great. Um, and, we start diving into conspiracy theory. So, dude is like, first red flag. So, dude is like, I hate Jewish people. And I'm like, okay. Now, I say, okay, let's backtrack. Why? And that's wrong. Shouldn't hate nobody. But he goes deep into why he dislikes Jewish people. And I F's with Jewish people. Like, no ma'am Pam, you know? But anyway, red flag number one. He then proceeds to tell me that he called one of his ex-girlfriends a bitch, and he called another one of his Hispanic ex-girlfriends a spick when he was angry. So I'm like, mm, mm. So before I continue, just know that I ended the phone call after these things. So anyway, I'm like, mm. Yeah, it doesn't sit well with me because what if you get pissed off at me and call me a nigger? Then I have to go to jail. You know, my family doesn't have bail. But anyway, um, yeah, so I felt weirded out after that, and I ended the call because I needed to get me something to eat. And I'm like, okay, let's not judge. There could have been backstory. There's no backstory for racism in my book, but let's not judge. He loves you. It's quarantine. You're bored. Okay. So his personality slowly shifts over the next couple of days. I think because he found out that, hey, she's gonna know I'm a racist. But it was still the sweet I love you, but it was like we both like backed away from one another, especially me because I'm like, no. So we were having a conversation day 3 or 4, and this was around Easter time. So I was watching around Easter time. I started watching all of my religious shit, my Passions of the Christ. I started watching those Jesus movies that they play on the Christian channels with the fake Jesus and like Ten Commandments. All my religious stuff I started watching around that time. I run into Passion of the Christ. That's my movie. I love that movie. Jesus is everything. Um, but I'm watching the movie and of course, when I think of that movie, I think of Mel Gibson. Now, up until Mel Gibson did all of his bullshit, I rode for him. I love me a sexy white man. That a little bit of backstory on me. I grew up I grew up really weird. So I went to this like preschool prep school for smart people. I don't know. And then I went to like a normal public school, and then I moved to a charter school surrounded by white people. I was like one of 4 white people in my entire school. So I grew up loving white men, hitting on my friends' fathers at a young age. Like I love me a good looking white man. So Mel Gibson was the one for a while, but then when I found out who he really was, I was like, no man, Pam. So me and this guy, um, let's call him, let's call him, let's call him the White Hulk. So me and this guy, I don't know how to describe it now that I know he's a white supremacist, but we had this like camaraderie. Like we could talk and talk and talk and talk. We had a lot of the same theories. We knew a lot of the same stuff. He put me on the new stuff. I put him on the new stuff. Oh, I'm thankful that a part of me is not bitter and that I can connect to that soft side of him, because we could just talk and talk and talk and talk. So I'm telling him, hey, I was watching The Passion of the Christ, Mel Gibson, LOL. So here goes red flag, probably number 800, but for me it was like number 4. He goes, I love Mel Gibson. And I'm like, okay. And I'm like, I loved him too. Loved, past tense, Loved, loved him. And I'm like, okay, elaborate. He's like, I love his views on Jews. I'm like, here we go. So then again, I'm a Scorpio. So I'm like, let me test him so I can know for sure that I should leave him alone. And there's different levels of leaving people alone for me. Leave you alone, you can still hit me up. We can be cordial, but I will never hit you up. It'll never be a two-way street. Um, kind of, I mean, very leave you alone is I will never respond to your text messages. I will leave you on red. Ultra leave you alone is you're on block. You can never contact me. I don't think about you. I have no interest in you. Oh my God, how did you get into my life? So this was like my ultra block test for him. So I don't know if any of you remember, but Mel Gibson, he's like, he was ranting to his wife or his girlfriend. He was like, if you go out and get raped by a pack of niggers, and I quoted that. I was like, I said, White Hulk. I loved how Mel Gibson was so racist to tell his wife that she might go out and get raped by a pack of niggers. Um, and then I think I said as if she couldn't be raped by anyone else. Um, no. I said a pack of niggers as if he's talking about wolves or something. So then the White Hulk says, at least wolves would be more civilized. So skirt on 22s. Now we're in the ultra block zone, and I'm like, hmm, this man, I've never hit it off with anyone as much as I have in 5 years of dating online. Um, he's fine. He's white. He's fine. He has this understanding of me that I don't understand, and he can be really sweet, but this personality has shifted, and he's shown me so many signs that he's a white supremacist. So I'm not. I haven't even gotten to the best part, but anyway, I'm like, okay. So we move into ultra block zone. I end the conversation, and then things end after that. Anyway, but this guy not only he reveals to me later on that he has a personality disorder. He used to be an ex-soldier, yeah, an ex-soldier, um, contracted soldier rather, and he's this big burly guy. But guys, here's the best part: I ignored so many signs. He's bald and white. His profile picture on the dating app, he had hair. The picture he sent me, he was a white skinhead esque, if not a skinhead. So, this is my cute little diddle about how I temporarily fell in love with a white supremacist. Have a good day.